Week 10 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few hitters I look to drop this week. The first guy, Patrick Wisdom of the Chicago Cubs. So Wisdom in April got off to a hot start, but now he's really hit bottom here this month on the season. 14 home runs, 28 RBIs, 28 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, 69 strikeouts already, 208 batting average, and a 293 on base. Obviously, we know he's a classic power hitter. Pretty much a home run, strikeout, or a walk, it's going to be for Patrick Wisdom. And last season, he did hit 25 home runs in 470 at-bats. And so far this season, the 14 home runs is a great number. But if he's not hitting home runs, he's not doing anything for fantasy owners. And over the last month, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 6 runs scored, and a stolen base with a 169 average and a 258 on base. So Wisdom, he's been dropped in tons of fantasy leagues, but still on the 50% of leagues right now. But he's not doing anything, is Wisdom. His walks have even gone down as well, which is not a good thing. So the last few games for Wisdom: May 29th versus the Rays, 0-for-1. May 30th versus the Rays, 0-for-4. May 31st versus the Rays, 0-for-4. June 2nd at the Padres, 0-for-4. June 4th at the Padres, 1-for-4. So right now, not getting the job done here is Patrick Wisdom. The power, we haven't seen him hit a home run in over 2.5 weeks right now for this Cub team and fantasy owners. And if he's not doing his specialty and hitting home runs and driving in runs, there's really no reason to hold on to him right now. It's just like any power hitter. Yeah, I think he'll come back and have a little breakout and could go on a home run tear for a couple weeks. But right now, while he's doing nothing, and like I said, he'll be available most likely throughout the season on and off his Wisdom. This is a time while he's slumping to drop him, and he does qualify at first starting in outfield, which is great versatility. But right now, he's definitely a hitter to drop this week. Next hit is Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers. So Riley Green, he was starting to get things going, and then he got hit by a pitch, and he's got a broken leg, so he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks as Green. So on the season, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, 29 runs scored, a 296 average, and a 362 on base. In the month of May, he was on a tear, was Riley Green, with 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 12 runs scored, a 354 average, and a 436 on base. So right now, this Tiger team, we know they were starving for hitters. We know Riley Green a few years ago was one of the top prospects in all Major League Baseball, and it was starting to translate in the month of May. But now with the injury and eating up most of the season now for Riley Green, there's no reason for fantasy owners to stash him. I know he was playing great baseball, but his numbers obviously weren't out of this world, and he was striking at it a lot as well. 64 Ks in 203 at-bats. So right now, while Green is banged up and out up to 2 months right now, I would drop him. And as his timetable of coming back gets closer, then fantasy owners could go out there and get him. But right now, while he's out for a while, he's not a must-have hitter on your roster. And he's a guy I would drop this week is Riley Green. The next hit is Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Lowe coming out of the gate, he had a monster start, but over the last few weeks here, he started to slow down his Lowe. And now he's got a back injury where he's going to be out with back inflammation on the 10-day injury list. On the season, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, 26 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, a 199 average, and a 294 on base. So even last season, Lowe, that average was down in the 220s with 8 homers, 25 RBIs, a 221 average, and a 308 on base. Right now, Lowe's banged up. He didn't do much in the last month. 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 6 runs scored, a 171 average, and 266 on base. And right now with the injury and just poor numbers, he's a guy I would drop this week. No doubt he could come back and break out a little bit more as Lowe, but even over the last 2-3 weeks, he was a droppable guy. But now with this back injury, definitely puts it over the top for fantasy owners to drop him. And he's another hitter who strikes out a ton, 63 strikeouts in only 176 at-bats this season here for Lowe. So right now, while the power wasn't generated and he's injured now, he's an easy drop this week. The next hit is his teammate, Isaac Paredes, the Tampa Bay Rays. So the Rays this season, a lot of guys coming out of nowhere that many people who are casual fans haven't heard about, but they were putting up numbers. But now the Paredes, the Taylor Walls, guys like that, they're definitely slowing down for this Tampa Bay Ray team. And obviously it translates on the season here for Paredes. 8 home runs, 37 RBIs, 28 runs scored, a 266 average, and a 343 on base. But over the last few weeks, the numbers definitely have dropped. 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 4 runs scored, a 235 average, and a 316 on base. So right now, last season, Paredes, he showed some pop with 20 and 45, but he had a horrible batting average at a 205 average, but a good on base at 304, just about 100 points higher from his batting average. But this season here, this Tampa Bay team, they've been playing over their heads, and like I said, they're starting to come back down to normalcy, some of these hitters, and that's what's going on with Paredes. He does qualify first, second, and third, obviously great versatility, but the last 2 weeks, like I said, he really hasn't done much. May 28th versus the Dodgers, 3 for 5, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. May 30th at the Cubs, 0 for 4. May 31st at the Cubs, 0 for 4. June 3rd at Boston, 1 for 3. June 4th at Boston, 0 for 3 with a run. And June 5th at Boston, 0 for 3. So right now, Paredes, a bad slump where he really can't get out of it looks like. And like I said, these Rays player, their stats are leveling out. And these guys aren't going to keep putting up the numbers like they were early in the season. It's just not what they were doing throughout their career. And it's the same thing with Paredes. I think he could hit 20, 25 home runs. But he's going to have a low batting average. And the RBIs as well, I think, could drop off. So he's a hitter I would drop this week, and the 5th and final hitter I look to drop this week here. I'm back onto the wire is DJ LeMahieu of the New York Yankees. I know a few seasons ago, one of the best pure hitters in all the American League was DJ LeMahieu. But the last couple seasons, the numbers have dropped off. And ever since he got that contract, whatever the case may be, his numbers haven't been great at all this season. 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, 24 runs scored at 239 average, and a 301 on base, and his K rate's definitely gone up a lot. Is LeMahieu, 59 Ks and 197 at-bats, where last season only 71 strikeouts and 467 at-bats, so the numbers have dropped off. He's striking out a lot, not getting on base. Here is DJ LeMahieu, and right now he's a droppable hitter. I know he qualifies at first, second, and third, which is great versatility, but if you're not producing versatility, don't. And the last couple weeks here, 1 homer, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored, a 190 average, and a 209 on base. That's not going to cut it for LeMahieu. I believe he shouldn't be a cleanup hitter. He's more of a 1 and 2 guy, is LeMahieu. May 30th at Seattle, 0 for 5 a run. May 31st at Seattle, 1 for 4. June 3rd at the Dodgers, 1 for 4 run. And June 4th at the Dodgers, 0 for 4. So right now, not hitting the baseball, not even seeing the baseball great. Strikeout rate way up. And even in the last 2 games, you could see it's striking out 6 times in the last 2 ball games. So right now, LeMahieu not doing much for fantasy owners, and maybe his best days are behind him. So that's a few hitters I look to drop here in already week 10 of the fantasy baseball season.